All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Roxora, and per requests, we've got Lior back. Uh,
Ready to
everyone
share my
really,
wisdom.
everyone really liked the last video of her reacting to some cards, and we're gonna do the same thing. Friend of the channel, Devin, made this Pauper list of cards. So these are all cards that are legal or would be legal in Pauper if they aren't banned. And we're gonna, again, just as before, we're gonna take a look at them, show them to her. No other context. I was explaining to her earlier the Pauper format of being the commons only format. Again, if a card was ever printed at the common rarity, it is legal in Pauper. And it kind of goes based off of the legacy print run in terms of any supplemental product. That's what's legal in Pauper. So again, but the context here that it is common cards, and so you can kind of take that into consideration. Some of the cards might have a different evaluation because we are talking about the Pauper format and not just Magic in a vacuum in general.
Because I know so much about Magic in a vacuum.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Before we actually get to talking about some of the cards, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Again, this video got enough traction that we made it happen again. We can do more. We can find more cards for to show Lior, but yeah, keep hitting that like button. All right, ready to get started?
I get it.
All right, so first one up.
I know this one.
Yes,
this is very good.
You've seen this card before. Yes. This is a little bit of an easy one. So again, sorry to backtrack here. We're trying to figure out, number one, is it good, and kind of to what level of, like, is this a staple index?
Yeah.
Is this fringe playable, bad, and then there's also the question of, is it banned?
I don't know if it's good enough to be banned, but I know it's good enough that it's like your favorite card.
It is one of my favorite cards. I'll say that. She does know that.
I mean, it's 1 for 3. That feels very good.
Mm-hmm.
I know they made worse cards of this because this one was so good. In Pauper, can you have 1 or 4 copies?
4.
I feel like this is banned. This feels very good.
Why did that make you say that this was banned?
Don't you only have like 20 health?
You do only have 20 health.
That's but like again, half your health.
Right, but you have a 60 card. So you have a 60 card deck.
That's still really good.
You are correct that it's a good card. You're saying it was so good that it's banned.
I don't know if it's, but why would they make worse cards of it if it wasn't banned? Like, they have the other lightning thing that does.
So they made worse cards because then when they put them into standard, or when they make more of, if your entire deck, remember I was telling the story of, if you ran like 30 lightning bolts and 30 mountains, yes, that would be a really, really good deck. So they try not to make effects that are just as good as lightning bolts, so that you can't do that, right? Because someone showed up to a tournament with 30 lightning bolts and 30 and 30 mountains, and that was not a fun experience. And so that's why we have the 4 copies rule. And generally speaking, they don't try to make so many of these types of effects.
Then I guess I'll go with not banned, but like a 10 out of 10. That's a banger.
Yeah. I get what you're saying of, like, yes, it would be crazy if your entire deck was lightning bolt. Then it would be banned. That is not the case. Yeah, it is a very good card, very, very powerful. But yes, not banned. Okay. So that's like, about which, maybe you can gauge that for the rest of the cards of, like, okay, really, really good, efficient card, flexible, right? It can finish off the game, but also be a removal against creatures. So it's good in both control and aggressive strategies.
I mean, this is good in everything, isn't it?
It's good in everything, right? Yeah, well, it is a playable card in other more powerful formats, which is a testament to how powerful it is. But yeah, also just kind of a role player in many decks, and not a busted card. It is a efficient card, not a busted card. All right. This is an interesting one.
It costs 5? Oh my god. Oh, it's
So you wanna read it out for
You may
for
return. Oh, it's
for
an
the
instant.
audience.
That's good too. You may return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand instead of paying Gush's mana cost. Draw 2 cards for 5,
Mm-hmm. Or the cost of
or get rid of 2 islands.
yes, to your hand.
But you only pay 1 per turn, so it sets you back.
Yes.
I mean, I get that this is good because it has an alternate cost, and usually cards that have alternate costs are good because of that. But I don't know why it's that good. But I feel like it's probably good because you get 2 cards out of it. I'm thinking you play an island this turn, then you return 2 of them, so you're only 1 down, and then you draw 2 cards. I feel like this is good. I feel like this is like a 7 or a 6.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to do the numerical scale. Okay.
Yes.
Come up a little bit, baby. Scooch.
Your chair's in the way.
I'm
There's
sorry.
only so far I can scooch.
All right. So you think good, but not crazy.
Correct. Because it sets you back a turn.
Mhm.
Kind of.
Final answer.
Yeah. Good, but not like
All right.
busted.
All right. Let's see. I can bring up the.
Oh.
There we go. Banned.
Why is it banned?
So the big thing is that it's just, as you said, it's really, really efficient.
But it sets you back 1.
So the big thing is that you can play something with the 2 islands and then play this. So even though it's an instant, you could often end up playing it on your own turn. You can also think about what happens if you don't have a land to play. You use the 2 islands.
Oh, to their owner's hands. No, that's just to your own hand. Never mind. You can't return your opponent's island.
Yeah, you can't return your opponent's, but right, you have your 2 lands. You have no other lands in your hand. You use those 2 lands to either make mana or
you don't have
play
to
something.
tap it. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just get to do that for free. So again, just a really, really efficient card that just gives you so many resources. And again, think about in a deck with lightning bolt.
I didn't realize that you could use it and then return them.
Yeah. So in other formats, this isn't quite as crazy, but in Pauper, since things are as they are, yeah, gosh,
Since they be how they be.
Since they do be, things do be like that. Yeah, quite a strong card. All right, next up we got Cultivate.
2 and a green. Sorcery. Okay, just on your turn. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
It does know about, so some of the general concepts of, instant speed is better than sorcery speed.
Yeah. I mean, get an extra land out. That feels good.
And a land to your hand. So you get 2 lands.
I think that's pretty good. I don't think this is banned. But I feel like this could, if you're doing this on turn 3, then you could play something for 5 cost the next turn. I feel like that's good. Well, I guess this is Pauper. Maybe this is really good. I'm gonna go with a 7 again. I'm not gonna go with banned. I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay, but you think it's good?
I think it's good. You get an extra land. How long do these matches last? Is this Magic where it's turn 3 and everything dies in Commander, or is this they go longer?
It is Magic.
But do Pauper games go longer?
It is not like CEDH.
Commander,
it is not like CEDH.
It's over.
So they're trying to go off of CEDH. We're not talking about CEDH here. We're talking
then I
about.
think this is good because then you have more. You have more.
You have more. All
My final analysis.
Final answer.
Yeah.
So
Gush is better, but this is okay.
Let me confirm, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, unplayable. What? This is one of the worst cards on this list.
Why?
I'm pretty sure.
You get an extra land.
Yes. This is the joke that I like to say about this card is good in Commander. That's like the classic thing that you say. It's kind of like telling somebody you have a face for radio. Right. Yeah, this is just very, very slow.
But you're playing green. You're going slow anyway.
No, a lot of times. So there's also a card called Rampant Growth that does this for something similar for 2 mana. that kind of gets you ahead on lands. This is just like for 3 mana, it just like does not a lot, and other cards can do kind of what this card does, but better.
Oh yes, and I know that because I know so many cards.
I know, but it's more of just that this is like a card that people do like. So this is the thing of like a lot of commander decks do play this card because it is cheap, money wise, and easy to kind of play around with and to slot into your deck. But in terms of like actual power level, you know, it doesn't actually do a whole lot for your deck, and so most Pauper decks just don't need to run this. And yeah. At least that's my assessment. Again, there are big mana decks in Pauper. Like those do exist.
With my big giant green dinosaur deck from
last time. If you want to play your big green dinosaur, this is a card you could play to help do that. All right. Let's see. Next up, we've got Cleansing Wildfire.
1 in a red, destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle their library and draw a card. So you pay to destroy one, replace it.
Yeah.
And then get another card.
If they have a basic, so
these are 2 separate things, so you can still draw the card even if that doesn't happen. Right?
Yes. So you have to destroy a land. You have to target a land.
Oh, you have to. Okay.
If you successfully destroy the land, your opponent, if you target your opponent's thing, they may decide, I don't want to search. So like, right, you see where it says may?
Why wouldn't they?
What happens if they don't have a basic land in their deck? They have to get a basic. So if they don't, or they might have put a card on top of their deck, and they don't want to shuffle their deck.
So they still get to draw a card.
You still get to draw a card.
Oh,
you are the person who draws a card always. Right? So if you target their land, they get to search, and then you get to draw. Or you can target your own land, you get to search for a basic land, and then draw.
I think this is okay. You're paying 2 to just get a card.
All right, so I believe there was another slide here because I believe they wanted to show you this to see if it changes your opinion.
Oh, it does. What happens if you target it and it's indestructible?
So the destroy target land period. So it means that the next part is completely separate from the destruction. It would, if it was dependent on destruction, it would say if it was destroyed.
So I can target that and it doesn't go away.
And it does not go away.
This is very good. You get a card and you get an extra land, right? I can target that, whatever. Then I can get another land. Then I can draw a card.
All right. But did you take a closer look at these cards? Anything else?
Whatever.
And they're also artifacts, which is another.
I don't know that.
So in some cases it could be a downside, but in other cases it could be an upside.
Is it the one that's like make mana for how many artifacts you have or something?
There is that card that's not in the Pauper format.
Okay. I'm a pro.
But there are also cards that shut off the abilities of artifacts or things like that. I don't believe that card exists in Pauper.
Then I think this is good.
So final answer.
Wait. I'm deciding how good, but I think this is good. I feel like this is like a 7 because you still don't do anything. You just get a card.
Well, you get a card and a land.
Yeah, but the last one you ramp too. You get
but this costs 2. This costs 2 mana.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's good.
What if this costs 2 mana?
I don't think it's bad.
And you get another card.
I think it's good. I think this is like an 8. I'm going with that.
Final answer?
Yeah. If this is unplayable, then I'm just playing my stupid dinosaur red deck now.
Okay, so I thought this was pretty bad. I
really
didn't
this seems really good.
I think it's a little bit too weird. But key land card used, in a power, basically to ramp. So you go plus a land plus a card. So that is good, right? That's the difference of that versus Cultivate, which is just 2 lands. This is, you get +1 land and you get to basically cycle through your deck. And then it has the upside of if your opponent has an important land on their field, this is just a free card that you just get to have in your deck to disrupt that. So if they have a crucial land on their board that's doing something, you get to interact with it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, this helped. The context helped.
The context did help. I still think this is not that good, but
sounds like you're not a pro Pauper player.
I'm not a pro Pauper player. I think that running so I guess I should say I would not put these in my deck
because of that.
Because of this. There are some decks that, as we'll see, naturally want to have these cards in their deck, and then I would say, okay, you can run this, and it's fine. All right. What about this guy?
2 black, destroy any 1 land.
So kind of like the previous card. But in this case, they don't...
that means that it's good, but not as good as that one, because that one you get a card. How much removal does black get?
What do you mean removal? Like
it's destroying something.
Black destroys a lot of creatures, right? It has. You don't usually. So I'm also gonna note that this is a very old card, as you can see.
Yes.
They don't usually make a lot of this type of effect
because they're really good. I would assume. Destroys. I mean, it sets your guy back 1 round.
I'm gonna say nothing else other than that. It's just that they do not. This is an old effect, and it's also, again, back then they just kind of did one-off effects. So red can have this effect as well. Green can have this effect as well. But I will say again, just in general, this type of effect is not seen often nowadays.
I don't think this does anything for you though. I don't like this card. I wouldn't use it. That's my answer. Is I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I would put this at because I thought it was good at the start, but it doesn't do anything for you. Like, it just slows your guy down, the other guy.
Right, you would use this on your opponent and you kill one of them.
But you just that's it. That's all it does. I'm gonna go with this as a 3. I don't like it.
Final
That's
answer.
My final answer.
All right, I have to consult my notes here, but I'm pretty sure this is banned.
What?
It is banned. Yeah, land destruction. So the reason why they don't print these again is because land destruction strategies are really, really annoying and unfun for the game. So
okay, so I didn't like it. So I knew it was unfun.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, just going first, you just play a 1-mana card, and then you land screw your opponent. Yeah, there are a lot of decks that have a very low land count, or don't really try to have a ton of lands in play, and so this ruins that quite a bit.
I can't believe it's banned. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just it would help encourage power. Oh, this is on the suggestion of cards to unban, because as you kind of saw there's also some of the indestructible lands now. It would help out the black.
But you get to pick which land.
Yes.
So then.
Right, but if I have all
artifacts, just 1v1. Pauper's not.
Yeah. Right, so that's what makes it so powerful. Is like I go first, I play.
I'm thinking of your commander.
This is 1v1. Yeah. So I think 1v1 is I go first, I play something, they play a land and play maybe something, and I just say sinkhole, kill your only land, and now you're stuck on one land the entire rest of the game, and you just keep doing that, and then unless you continue to draw lands, it's just a terrible experience. Where some people enjoy this. Some people enjoy this kind of strategy of trying to screw over your opponent. Magic has found that even though there are people who enjoy that, the general consensus is that these effects are terrible and lead to bad games and are better off not existing. All right.
So banned for being annoying.
Banned for being annoying, yeah.
Goblin Tomb Raider. Okay, so it's 1. That's already good. It's cheap.
Cheap.
As long as you control an artifact, Goblin Raider gets +1/+0 and has haste. This feels very good. Like, everything is an artifact. All those lands were artifacts.
Those lands were artifacts, as you saw.
All the moxes, those are not Pauper cards, right?
Those are rares. And would be
Because it's already a 1/2. It's already overstated. I think this is good.
I will say a 1/2 is not great, but a 2/2 is great. And so the question is, how often is this card a 2/2?
I feel like haste? I mean, turn 1 it's not gonna be. But like after that it might be. Like, do you play this like later on when you already have? Oh no, it's not per. I thought it was each artifact you get.
No, it's just a one-time. It's a consistent check of, is there an artifact in play for you? If so, +1 in haste.
I feel like this is probably part of a lot of decks, but it's not like breaking the game. I feel like this is not like banned for being too good, and this is not unplayable. Like
so, like in the middle, straight down the middle as a 5.
5, yeah.
All right. Again, I'm not a Pauper expert here, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty good.
Really?
It's not banned. It's a staple. Okay. It's really good in the red aggressive decks. It's not hard to have an artifact in play. You saw some lands there. Yeah. Great.
I probably should rate it higher, but at least I knew that it was.
Yeah, I'm fine with, like, I think your assessment of it's fine. It's just fine and not banned and just good. Not that exciting of a card. All right.
I love him. He's great. He's perfect. 5. He costs.
I love how last time we had a big dinosaur card, or we have another big dinosaur.
That's it. It's a banger. Don't even have to read the rest of the card. You just cut the words off.
Why don't you give this guy a read?
Creature dinosaur, reach, trample. Oh, he can kill birds. That's good. Are there a lot of birds in Pauper? I don't know.
I mean, just flying in general is a powerful ability, as we know.
When you cast the spell, exile a card to the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. This feels good. Can you cheat this somehow in Pauper? Is there cheating, or is that not a thing in Pauper as much?
Less so. Let's assume. So the big thing is that cheating this into play does not trigger the cascade.
Oh, it's when you cast.
It's when you cast it. So let's assume that we are casting it.
If we're casting it anyway, I think it's pretty good because it also has trample. Unless they got big blockers to block. Although I guess on turn 7 they probably have big creatures to block. But then it would kill everything that it tramples, right? Like if you use like 3 little guys to block him, he kills them all, right?
Yeah, it would kill them all. Yeah.
I like him. He's a big guy. You exile a card, you get to play something for free. I like it. It has reach and trample. In my deck, I would play it. In my giant dinosaur deck with Cultivate.
Okay. That's your final answer. We like.
I don't think he's banned. I don't think he's actually good, but I like him, so I'm gonna give him a 7. I like him.
Okay, wait. But do you think it's a good card? Do you think it's a good card?
I think it's better than the other dinosaur. I think he's decent. Yeah,
he's a decent card.
He's like a 9 in my heart, but probably like a 6 in real life.
All right. Yeah, it is a good card. One of the best top end creatures. So the big thing is that Cascade is pretty good at just being 2 cards. This card would be a lot worse if it didn't have Cascade, obviously. Just a big 6/5 reach trample isn't going to cut it, even in Pauper. The fact that this gives you kind of 2 cards just right from the get-go is really nice. Cascade is a really broken ability. Cascade is a really is an ability that they have tried to fix.
So expensive.
Right. Cascade just basically guaranteeing you 2 cards, because if you cast this card and then they counter the Altasaur, or they kill the Altasaur, you still get the Cascade trigger.
I like it.
So Cascade just pretty much guarantees 2 things.
So I play this guy and then I play my giant dinosaur. He also costs like 7, didn't he?
I love how you were correct in that this is better than what was the card?
Big green guy.
I don't even remember the card name. It was whatever. Polyraptor. Yeah, this is definitely better card than Polyraptor. I guess in the context of it's a 1v1 format and you're just trying to play a big guy, this is a better big guy than Polyraptor. All right.
What, 2 big guys?
2 big guys, yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of guys.
All right,
here.
so this is gonna take a little bit of reading. So this is Vicious Battle Rager. I'll kind of walk you through this here.
Okay.
So 3 and a black for a 1/5 creature dwarf barbarian. Whenever it becomes blocked by a creature, its controller loses 5 life. So it's kind of an interesting attacker.
So when it gets blocked.
When it becomes blocked. When it attacks and your opponent goes, I would like to block it.
Yes.
And then
like the other guy.
The opponent. Creature. That creature's controller, right? So presumably
the actual like the player loses 5 life.
It is impossible for a creature to lose life. A creature does not have life. Creature has toughness.
Very, very different.
Yeah. But there is this interesting mechanic called the initiative. So when you enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. And the initiative is this little trinket thingy here. So it's almost kind of like a game of hot potato or keeping the flag or whatever.
It's that jewel that you guys were battling.
Yeah, the coveted jewel. Yes, that's another good example of that. Yeah, she played a commander game recently and encountered coveted jewel. So whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage to you, meaning the person with the initiative, whoever dealt damage to you takes the initiative. Okay. And then there's 2 times where you go through this Undercity here, which I'll explain in a moment. Whenever you take the initiative from somebody, and then, or I guess also just venture into the dungeon, and at the beginning of your upkeep.
Okay.
If you have the initiative. So basically, when you play this card,
if it's not my turn, and I hit the guy who has it.
If it is your turn.
Oh no!
You have to deal combat damage. Yeah. You have to attack somebody. Take the initiative. When you take the initiative, you get to do the thing. And then if you successfully defend other people from taking the initiative from you, you get to do it again, which I'll explain. So this guy, when he enters, introduces this into the game. So the Undercity here is a dungeon. And what a dungeon is you start out the top here. So you start at the secret entrance. And then just kind of, you pick your path. So then the next time you were to venture into the dungeon, you get to go into one of these 2 rooms. When you do that, then you're kind of locked in. You can't go over here or over here. If you choose the Forge, you go over here, and the next time you can pick Trap Arena and so forth. Then it's kind of self-explanatory. When you go to the final one down here, you do this, and then the dungeon goes away. And then the next time you take the initiative, you go back to you take this Undercity out again, and you go back to the beginning. Okay, so now that we got all that,
I hate it.
What do you? Well, yes, you hate it, but
I feel like this is good because you do multiple things with every time you do something. Because does this consider doing combat damage?
The loss of life is not.
Oh.
So you have to actually deal the player damage by them not blocking or trampling over or something.
Well, no matter what, like when you play him, you get a land.
Yes.
And then that person's going to automatically lose 5 life when you punch him if he's alive. So I feel like this is pretty good. And then it just goes around and people get lots of stuff.
Remember, it's only 2 people.
Oh, it is only 2 people.
It's only 2 people in this game.
Oh, so you're gonna have the initiative a lot. I feel like this is good.
What do you think about? So maybe not necessarily this card, but what do you think about just the initiative in and of itself?
I don't like it, but it's. I feel like it's good. It is a passive thing. Like you don't gotta do anything. You either have it or you want to punch someone and get it.
Well, you have to. Well, again, you introduce this to the game. So if they kill this and they attack you, they steal this.
Yeah, but I'm assuming if you're playing with this guy, you have a way to get it back. You got big guys, I would assume. Or you block. You got blockers.
Okay, so we're saying initiative good and this card good.
It's better than a regular 1/5.
Yes,
with no additional.
I will tell you a 4-mana 1/5 would be really, really bad.
Yeah.
I'll also tell you a 4-mana 1/5 with this text would also be very bad.
Oh really?
Yes. So that's why I'm
I
asking
guess
you.
they just don't choose to block it because it only does 1 damage.
Right. They would just say,
but
okay.
then you get the initiative.
Right. So that's why I'm saying
I feel like this is
the initiative is an important part of evaluating the card here. That's why they put this here, because it matters.
I'm reading intently. A treasure is a mana?
Treasure is the token that you can sacrifice to make a mana.
I feel like this is also really good, the last thing.
The Throne of the Dead 3, yeah.
If you start and then your opponent gets it, and then you and your opponent, then you. So hypothetically, you should get.
No. So I should explain. The Undercity dungeon that you go into is yours.
Oh.
The initiative is the thing that switches control.
Oh, so you.
So
they get their own secret.
They get their own. So if you were to take the initiative, you start here, you do this. Next turn, right? They don't take the initiative, you get to do one of these. When they take the initiative, let's say they attack you or they play one of these or whatever, they start at their own different one at the secret entrance. Yeah. You don't like switch off. You are basically competing for
It takes a long time to get there then. This is already turn 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, so these, if you look at them, are obviously more powerful.
Yeah, this is
more powerful effects than the ones up here. The further you get in, presumably, the better it is.
This is Pauper. Like, how many big guys are there? I feel like this is decent.
Well, you just saw a really big guy.
Yeah, he's good.
You saw a really big guy.
I feel like this is not unplayable, but I don't think this is banned. I don't think it's that good. I feel like it's like... I don't think it's in all of the black decks, but I think it's in some of them. Yeah. I feel like this is like a 4.
So I'll also talk about here of, again, just what if there were multiple cards with the text, you take the initiative.
But you already have the initiative, so you can't just keep taking it.
So if you take the initiative twice, you can take the initiative twice in a turn of. You can get at the beginning of your upkeep, right, and go further. And then if you play another one, it says whenever you take the initiative and
the same Undercity?
Yes, the same. You just go further. You go, right. So you can go here when you play your first Battle Rager. And then the next turn you go into the Forge, and then you play a second Battle Rager, and you go immediately into the Trap or the Arena.
Oh, then it's like your little goblin guy from that last one. Where you like get stuff for the go. And then I feel like a lot of black decks probably use this.
Well, I'm talking about what about
other cards that
have so I'm saying other. Yeah, I'm saying there could be even other colors or other cards.
It's not just a black thing.
It's not just a black thing.
Oh. I don't like it, but I feel like it's good. Like, I wouldn't enjoy this, but I think that this is something that people go for. I feel like then if other colors have it, then I feel like that bumps it up to like a 6.
So like 1 to 10, you think?
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's banned because everybody has access to
it. Well, you're saying where is it on the spectrum of like?
It's good. Like 5 is average, 6 is like good.
6.
Yeah. Because it does stuff, but it takes a lot to get there.
And not banned is what we're saying.
I don't think so. Why is it good enough to be banned if everybody has access to it?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I don't think it's banned.
Not banned.
No.
Final answer?
Yeah.
The initiative is a broken mechanic.
Really?
This is a absolutely wild mechanic. Let me confirm. I don't know if I think this one is banned. Yeah, this card is banned. Exceptionally powerful.
Wow.
As a result, yeah, initiative creatures were extremely powerful in Pauper. As a result, 4 of the cards in Pauper with initiative, the text "You take the initiative" have been banned.
That's crazy.
There was also a card in Legacy that also involves the initiative that is banned. Because it's also an efficient creature, but mostly just because of the text, you take the initiative.
That's wild. I did not think it was that good.
Let these things come to. Yeah, so they also Pauper has a lot of fast mana. So I believe Dark Ritual is a Pauper legal card. That's the 1 black, you make 3 mana. So you can play and we have Lotus Petal, which we'll show you.
Lotus is not
Not Black Lotus. Lotus Petal,
Oh.
which is a card you might be familiar with. You'll see. So those cards exist, and so you can play this card before turn 4. And
Okay,
then it
that
just
makes
gets
more
even
sense.
crazier where, if you get this out and your opponent isn't set up, now all of a sudden you're getting these effects every turn. And you're just getting so much advantage.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
I was thinking you can only have it like once per turn. So like this would be like turn 9
Yeah,
you get your guy.
that is not even counting. There are control decks. You have to deal combat damage in order to take the initiative. So if you are playing a control deck without creatures, or you're not focusing on creature combat,
The other
you
guy
you just lose. You just lose. So it's just a crazy, crazy, crazy mechanic. They've had this. There's another type of mechanic called the Monarch, which was similar to this, but it was just drawing a card. You basically the initiative was just if you kept it, you drew an extra card.
Okay.
That was also crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because just again, if you just end up drawing extra cards, you will probably win the game. This does that. Right, there's even a card, an archives that does that, but even does other things.
Scry when you look.
Yeah, scries when you look.
When you look and put it back on top, or when you look.
You can put it on the top or the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's why I was trying to gauge not just the card itself, but also venturing into the dungeon. Yeah, this card would not be playable if it was just 4 mana, 1/5, like spiked
like I figured it was
retribution.
good, but not like that good.
Yeah, so again, the big thing is, as you kind of almost got it. You were so close. You were just like, yeah, you just play this and you get this stuff for free. Yes, you do just get this stuff for free. And that's really good for just one card. Nope, there is no catch. As long as you get, so the big thing is, again, as long as you can keep control of the initiative. So that was the big thing, was it created very volatile gameplay of, I play this, take the initiative. If my opponent kills this and takes the initiative from me, now all of a sudden I'm put in a really bad spot, and that's crazy. Then you get into, the craziness of, I play an initiative card, then they play an initiative card. So if they just play a Battle Rager, they steal this. Only one person can have this token. And then it becomes like jostling back and forth, and it's just a nightmare. It's just so crazy. I hate these mechanics, and I hope that they kind of learned their lesson from these mechanics, because this was recent. This was yeah.
Wow.
This is 2022. Yeah. So yeah, crazy mechanic. All right. Next up, we got Core Skyfisher here.
1 and a white for a 2/3 flying. Return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Permanents are lands?
Permanent can be anything on the battlefield, anything that stays on the battlefield. So the exceptions are instants and sorceries, right? Those go into the graveyard.
So
Most other things,
you can repeat enter battlefield effects.
That could be a potential usage of this card.
Do cards say when they leave play, do they do something? Is that a thing?
Some cards not in the way. So this is actually funny. This is very, very similar to a Lorcana card, the Madame Mims. We don't really have the goats or the Merlin type of effects. Usually, I will say they may exist, but they are less common than they are in Lorcana.
What if you can't?
So
I guess a land. You always have a land.
You always have a land, and then you can also, if you somehow have no lands, you return this. Yeah.
I feel like it's decent. I feel like people are replaying it to repeat enter battlefield effects or something.
Okay.
I don't think this is banned. This doesn't feel banned. This feels like it would be in most white flying decks, but not like a banned card though. It's like that good because it's a 2/3. It's good, but it's not like that good.
So good, but not broken, and a staple in that it's pretty ubiquitous.
I think so. I don't see why not.
Final answer?
Yeah. Is it banned? Can be shook.
No, I'm messing with you.
Oh,
yeah. I was gonna get that's perfectly right. Let me confer with my notes here. Ooh. Let me confer with my notes, but pretty just large number of cheap threats, cheap artifacts that you can repeat their effects. Nice little bit of card advantage.
Like I hit one, I miss one. 50-50.
Yeah, perfect evaluation. No notes. I've played with this card and like when I was like testing out Pauper decks and stuff like that. Yeah, very cool. I guess I should say we showed these, but you got it without these.
Even, or leaves, yes. It has leave effect.
Or leaves the battlefield. Oh yeah, you're correct.
Sabotaging me.
That's an exception. That is a very not common common card. I didn't think about it. I thought that was when it dies. Oh, it is when it leaves. Oh yeah.
And when it enters.
Cool.
Gray Merchant of Asphodel. 3 and 2 black for a zombie. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. What is it?
It'll underneath it'll have a reminder text.
You gain life equal to the life lost. Well, each opponent is just one opponent, so this is better in Commander. Each black in the mana costs of permanents you control counts towards your devotion to black. Also, if you have a bunch of expensive black creatures, they just die.
So it's not necessarily how much mana, it's the number of these symbols. So in this case,
20 life in this?
Yeah. So in this case, if you had just this creature,
they automatically lose 2.
They would just lose 2 and you would gain 2 because your devotion would be 2. If you had more things on the battlefield,
I would assume by turn 5 you should have more things on the battlefield. Right? Like
you tell me.
And you gain life equal to it. I think this is good. Oh, then you have that one that says pay 1, get 3 mana, so you can play this
Dark Ritual
2 turns early or whatever.
Sure.
I feel like this is good. I don't think this is banned, but I think this is good because you're gaining life, they're losing life, and you get a guy.
Yeah. So for context of this is a commander card, or this is a commander printing of the card. It was printed elsewhere, but yeah, it is. If you look in the left here, it is so commander, like, and
it feels like it was made for commander.
I don't believe it was,
not actually,
but okay. So I'm saying
this is like
good,
but not
crazy. All right,
but like better than the other one, better than the white guy.
Oh, better than Core Skyfisher. Yeah.
Well, no, I guess he's more expensive. No, never mind. Okay. I stick with this is good, but not great.
I was about to be with you, and then I was about to not be with you. Yeah. Core Skyfisher is very good. This card is unplayable.
Really?
This card is very, very bad. It's just really, really slow. It does a little bit of stabilizing, but yeah, even this card is a little bit too slow.
Really?
Yeah, it would be awesome, but I think it looks like it used to be playable, but with the way things evolved in Pauper nowadays,
because I'm a professional in modern Pauper as opposed to old Pauper.
Okay. No, just more of like it really is just not quite good enough. It is a fun card. Again, people love it. We call this card Gary.
Gary.
Call it Gary.
I like that.
So fan favorite card.
Not so great anymore.
Not so great anymore.
When was this?
Playable in Commander. Well, it was printed well before that, but
it was.
Yeah, still not that good of a card.
Poor
Gary. But 07 to Gary.
07's in chat.
Just kind of requires a little bit too much setup, right? You have to play a bunch of stuff, have to play it, and all you get is a little bit of life drain,
and they lose life,
and it's a 2. Like look at the stats. There's the 2/4. Spending 5.
Yeah, I figured it was more. This stuff was more.
Yeah,
important.
you're correct, but yeah.
But he's understated. Yeah. Juggernaut, 4 of any color, colorless artifact creature. So it's got 2 kinds, which is already good. Juggernaut attacks each combat if able. 5/3. Can't be blocked by walls. What is a wall?
It's a creature type. So just like here there's a Juggernaut,
okay,
a creature can have the creature type wall.
Well, it costs 4 and it's a 5/3, which feels like that's overstated already, and you can cheat it earlier, I'm sure. It's good. I don't think it's banned. It's fine.
Fine, so like in the middle, or like underwhelming, or like
it's underwhelming to me. I don't know if it's underwhelming in the field, in the play style.
In reality, yeah.
But attacks each combat if able. So can you block with it?
So
no, you can't because you're gonna be attacking.
Yeah, it's forced to be tapped. If you found a way to give it vigilance, maybe. Also,
I'm underwhelmed.
On the turn that you play it, remember if your opponent attacks you, you can block with it because it hasn't attacked yet.
Yeah.
But once it's turned sideways once, right?
I'm underwhelmed. My whelmed is under.
Your whelmed is under.
But I don't think it's unplayable. I think somebody plays this, but I just don't like it very much.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I know I saw this in the notes and I don't remember. I'm fairly certain that this is not unplayable, but just like not very good.
Perfect. Underwhelming.
Yeah, unplayable. 5 power is good. But yeah, as you saw there of just not being able to block, like only being good while you're attacking isn't great. Also notable as they mentioned here, dice to lightning bolt.
Oh.
So the 3 health there is quite unfortunate. Ooh. Want to see what's going on with Cookie? Hold on. All right, sorry about that. We had a dog disruption. As usual, actually, that's happened in the last video.
Happened last time too.
Wouldn't be a video without that. Anyways, we're talking about Juggernaut. Yeah, just an underwhelming card. It's a nice card for like casual play, but yeah, just a little bit underpowered for pretty much everything nowadays. They made I think a Juggernaut Commander.
Really?
Which is funny.
Like this one?
No. Oh. Like a Juggernaut card.
Oh.
That was a legendary creature that benefited you for playing Juggernauts, and yeah, wow. Have fun. So, all right. Next up, we've got Writhing Chrysalis.
Red green. An Eldrazi drone, devoid, has no color. What does that mean? Like you still have to pay that to play it.
Yes. Okay. So you have to pay those costs in Commander. The color identity of the card is still red and green. Okay. On the battlefield and on the stack and in play,
creature,
it would not work. Yeah.
Are there cards like that?
There are cards like that.
When you cast this spell, create 2/0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn tokens with sacrifice this creature or add a mana. So automatically, you get 2 mana when you play this thing.
Yeah.
It has reach. And when you sacrifice an Eldrazi, put a +1/+1 counter on Writhing Chrysalis. So in turn 4, you get a big guy and 2 extra mana.
You have to sacrifice your guys, but yeah.
But you're going to sacrifice them. You're going to add mana. Like, you're going to do that for sure. This feels good. It's still like it's slow. I get it. It's turn 4, but this still feels good.
Yes. So for context here, the Eldrazi are like these like boogeyman, creatures that are colorless cards. In this case, this is like a special kind that has some color in it, but not really.
I just feel like separate from that, you get a 4/5 and 2 mana. You only really pay 2 for this guy.
You have to spend the 2 mana on something,
but
right?
You get 2 back.
But you get 2 back.
You do the same turn, right?
You can do it on the same. Yeah. So these you can sacrifice on the turn that you play this. But again, presumably if you play this on turn 4 and you play this, you have no mana left, and you get 2 colorless mana. You need 2 colorless things to spend it on. You need to.
But that. I understand.
Yeah. You couldn't, play another one of these or something like that.
I still feel like this is good. It does a lot of extra stuff. And if you have 2 of these cards and you sacrifice 4 of those suckers, they get a ton.
Yes, it does not require you, it does not limit you to just these ones. If you make more, that would be a good assessment.
Yeah. I like it. I don't think it's banned. I think it's good.
So I think it's good, not banned. Anything you may have missed? There are some things. Well, you saw the reach. Yeah, so
it can block birds too. So when these things can block birds, if you choose to sacrifice them.
No.
Those only that one has reach.
Only the Chrysalis has reach.
Still.
Okay. Final answer.
This is Writhing Chrysalis.
Yeah, this is the Writhing Chrysalis creature. It makes these Eldrazi spawn.
Yeah.
Which are the tokens.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think I've missed anything obvious.
Okay.
Add 1 colorless. Add 1 colorless. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. I don't think it's banned. This does not feel like a banned card.
Final answer?
Yeah. Is it a banned card?
It is a banned card. I'm fairly. Let me confirm again. I'm not up to date on. Oh, not banned yet. Not banned yet. It is going. It is probably going to be. This card. So for context here, this was in Modern Horizons Limited. Right, because it's a common. Was the best card in the set.
Oh, this is a common. I forgot.
This is a common.
That's really good.
So for 4 mana, you get a 4/5 essentially. At worst, it is a 4/5 reach. And then the next time you play anything that gives you spawn, meaning like another Chrysalis, there are other cards that give you spawn, but mostly just another copy of Rising Chrysalis. It just gets even bigger. And yeah, if you ever have the case of here's the first one, here's the second one, and then I have 8 spawn or 4 spawn, sacrifice them all. My guys are huge, insane. Just they completely like missed the balance mark on this card. Another thing that you may have missed is just the cast trigger. So it's not when it enters, it's when it's cast. So just like before, if it gets countered, you still get the Eldrazi token.
Okay.
So not only was it just like an efficient creature to play and block with, but also, it was just a really great way to accelerate towards bigger things. Because again, they just can't disrupt the getting of the spawn. So not been banned yet, but it is frequently discussed as a banned target. So I guess I would say I think this card should be banned. I don't even play Pauper. I don't even know anything about Pauper, but yeah, at the Pauper level, like for the modern day limited format, for it to be the best card above rares, like you would pick this card over a rare.
It's a brawl.
Yeah. Yeah. So, crazy card. But yeah, I guess not banned yet. We'll see how well the video ages. Yeah. All right.
Tolarian Terror. I like him. It's a big guy.
7
cost. This costs 1 less to cast for each instant sorcerer in the graveyard. Love it. Ward 2. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 2. I think it's pretty good. It's really big.
And it's a 5/5.
No, I mean like really expensive. I like it. Blue casts a lot of spells. Blue does countery stuff. That makes him cheaper. I like it. I don't think it's banned, but I like it.
So I'll use this as a teaching moment for everybody. The question is, at what cost would you say you're happy with casting this card? 4. So that's usually if you said 4 mana. Yeah. So if you spend 4 mana on this, you're relatively happy. Yeah. So the question is, how many spells do you need?
Firebolt, 1. Lightning bolt. That's what it is.
Firebolt. Firebolt is also a magic card, by the way. Oh, that's funny.
3 lightning bolts. Boom. 3. Okay, done.
Okay.
Blue red.
So yeah, you have 3 spells that you have to cast, and then you cast this. Yeah. And you're happy with that. Yeah. So based off
4 for a 5/5 and it counters things.
So based off that, we're going with
I like it.
Like it.
I don't think, based on your tone of voice, I don't think it's good, but I'm sticking with I like this guy. It goes with my big green dinosaur. They can live together.
But good card, not banned.
I don't think that this is going to be run at like 4 copies in every blue deck. This is too big of a guy. But I think this is like 2 copies.
So it doesn't have to be every blue deck, but could you envision a deck out there that plays 4 copies of this card?
Yeah. Anything with a bunch of instants and sorceries that are cheap.
So then...
Yeah, I like this card. I like him.
Final answer?
He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, this card's really good. This is the card that I would play if I were to play
sure
Pauper.
Would.
This is my kind of card. It's playing lots of instants and sorceries. Not banned. But yeah, just staple. Just really good. 4 copies. Yeah, you build around this card. You say I want 4 copies of this card in my deck, and then you put a bunch of instants and sorcerers in, and you go from there.
I like it. It's a big guy.
Big guy. The Ward 2 on this is really nice. A Ward is like a new mechanic that they've introduced that is pretty good at buffing up some of these big creatures without making them too good. Oh, and I should have
missing my context.
introduced some of these, but yeah. So there's another version of this as well that doesn't have ward, but it's just as good.
I still like that one.
And Gurmag Angler is another very popular card with Delve. But yeah, Thought Scour is a legal card that you can just play. You target yourself with the mill, and you ramp up to these quite fast.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
This I like because again, I if I showed you this card, I feel like it would have been too easy to go. Yeah, it's definitely good.
I like easy. I like it. It's got a bird. We're set. Utopia Sprawl, 1 green. Enchant.
Enchantment aura. Enchant forest. So you attach it to a forest card.
As it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever that enchanted forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. Kind of like an extra land, kind of, and it sticks around, right? Like if you somehow got rid of the land, it can.
No. If you remove the forest that it's attached to, this goes away.
Oh, okay. Not the okay.
Yeah, it's different than that. You're thinking of an equipment. An equipment would be
This is good. So can you? Like this costs 1. So turn 2, you can tap a different land to play this one and attach it to the other one, and then you make 2 more.
So you're talking about on the turn right.
Like I have 2 forests in play, blue or whatever. 2 forests.
I have 2 forests in play.
I tap the green to play.
Attach the first forest. Well, remember you can't attach it to a. You can only attach it to a forest. You have 2 forests in play. You use one of them, and you attach it to the other one.
Now I can make an extra.
You make 2 mana.
This feels good. This feels like it's in every green deck.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with you on this assessment, but I remember looking at it that it's not quite as set in stone.
Really? I feel like
nope. Never mind. All right. Cool. Never mind.
Yeah.
I might have been the Cultivate that I was thinking of that. Yeah. This card's really really good. So this is kind of why Cultivate is not good. Okay. Because why play Cultivate when you can just play this? Right. This is one of the best ramp options that we have in Magic. Period. Not as good as Mana Dorks, but again, most of the Mana Dorks are at higher rarities. In terms of at the common rarity, this I think is the best ramp tool in the game.
Pretty good. Seems like everybody should run it.
Yeah, getting to kind of help with color as well, right? You can play it in a multicolored deck. As you mentioned, of getting to put it on a forest and use that reimbursement of mana immediately is nice. Yeah. I should have, this is another thing as well.
I need the context.
But you don't need the context. But yeah, this is also another common card, and it's a nice little combo since they work well together. All right, very similar card.
Enchant land. When Abundant Growth enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted land has tap, add 1 mana of any color to mana pool. So does that replace? Like if I put it on a land,
so it adds a separate ability to add 1 mana.
So it adds 2. Color. No, it adds. So instead of tapping it for the color, I can add any color instead. That feels good, but not as good as the other one. Nah, I guess no, because you draw a card. No, I think it's also really good. This is probably is this one banned? I'm thinking, is this good enough to be banned? Because you get a card too. I feel like this one's banned because you get a card from it. No, it's not that good. I feel like this is really good, but not banned. I'll go with that.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. This one, I think, is not that good.
Really? Because you can just add the same color.
Fringe playable. So the big thing here is that playing this card for the mana fixing isn't really that good.
No, you get a card.
Playing it to draw a card is only okay. There are better ways to do that, and also it's not really something that green wants to be doing most of the time. So like you really don't want to play this in your deck with your big dinosaur guy, because you just want to you want to draw your big dinosaur guy, but you want to play your big dinosaur guy and hit another good thing off of your dinosaur guy, and this is not that.
But in the dinosaur, wasn't it just anybody who's cheaper?
Yes, if you hit that off of your dinosaur, it's a 1 mana, not really do a lot.
I have to stop. I can't just keep going.
Yeah, you with Cascade, you take the first thing.
I thought you just keep going to when you
Yeah, you take the first thing that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the big thing here. Is it's not that it's bad. It's just it's not worth spending 1 mana on for most decks. There is an aura deck. There's a deck that cares about playing a lot of auras, and that is where this card sees play. But yeah, it's not a bad card. It's not like you should actively avoid it. It's just it's usually not worth putting in your deck unless there's a reason to.
Makes sense.
Yes. All right, you know this guy.
Good. Very good. Banned.
I want to have you re-examine the card. Just read the card.
2 and a blue.
And I remember that this is for 1v1 only, not for commander.
2 and a blue. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. This is still good in this format. I mean, maybe it's not as good as commander, but this is still good in this format.
Fun fact for people, again, Rich Study is like one of the most, commonly played cards in commander. Very powerful and high powered tables. I think one of the like one of the most expensive commons in the Pauper format.
I don't think it was a common.
It was printed as a common, and nowadays it is printed at a higher rarity. All right, so sorry. So what are we saying? We're saying
this is very. I think this is still very good. I think you don't get 4 cards per turn or whatever, but if your opponent plays 3 spells on a turn,
if it's that good, is it banned?
It's not banned in commander. Is it banned in commander?
It is not banned. I play it in commander, but
like things can be banned in everything except commander.
Yes, that's true.
I feel like this is not fun to play against. Maybe they banned it for that aspect. You may draw a card unless coming in on turn 3, probably. I feel like this is banned because it's not fun to play against. But it is very good. Whether it's banned or not, this is a very good card.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Unplayable.
Really?
Yeah. The Mystic Study is one of the rare cards where it's really only good in commander. And it's really, really busted there. It is in the discussion between like Josh and some of the people who play CDH to be banned. Just because again, it's just a nightmare to play a game with this card in a format where you have 2 extra players casting a lot of spells. In Pauper, in Pauper specifically, and also just in 1v1 Magic in general, you're not really deploying that many spells.
Isn't everything a spell?
Everything is a spell except for lands. But again, all that this really does is it either says spend 1 more mana, or you give them a card.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're just, especially past turn 3. So the big thing is that if this comes down on turn 2, okay, cool. Most of the time, this is coming down on turn 3. And usually by that time, like think about the aggressive red player that's playing Lightning Bolt and their guys. They're either just going to continue to attack with creatures and then play lands and cast Lightning Bolt and pay 1 mana. Yeah, they pay 2 mana to do a Lightning Bolt, which is worse than not paying 1 mana. The point is, a lot of your opponent gets the agency of do they let you draw cards or not, and a lot of times that's just they're gonna pick the mode that's best for them, and this just doesn't really do enough.
Wild. Wilden.
Yeah, in a 1v1, it's not worth spending 3 mana to do nothing. Slower decks are generally willing to pay 1 extra mana to do something, and then aggressive decks will say, "Cool, draw all the cards you want. By the way, you're dead." Is essentially how this card usually plays out. Again, very very powerful card in Commander, but not for 1v1 format. Sure. It's one of the rare cards where it is just a very different card. Between those 2 formats.
Shook, I knew that one. Like I know him. That's a familiar guy.
It was I was trying to bait you when I said, do you think it's banned? Because this card is not even in consideration. It's just really, really bad in other formats besides Commander. All right.
Arkham's Astrolabe. 1 not white? 1 white.
So this is a special kind of mana called a snow mana. It's a snow artifact. There was an ice themed set. Let me see if I have. Yeah, I do have. I'll pull it out. but there was a special type of land called a snow-covered land, and that would be a snow permanent.
So you specifically have to pay for this with that.
Yes.
Because you build your deck around it, I guess.
So here we go, everybody. Here's some of my snow-covered mountains. So it says snow-covered mountain. It counts as a mountain in the same way a basic mountain would. It is also still a basic land, but it is just a snow permanent instead of not a snow permanent.
So it's a filter thing.
It draws you a card, and then can do the filter thing, just kind of like the Abundant Growth did.
Oh, you get to draw a card. I feel like it's good. I feel like it's only specifically in snow decks, obviously. Which I don't know how many snow cards exist. Is that like
so? The other thing I'll explain about here is that the snow covered lands, any deck can run that.
But like, is that the only one?
No, there's snow covered mountain, snow covered island, snow covered plains. Okay. There's one for each of those lands, and then there are some like other snow cards that. Like, so if there was another artifact that was a snow artifact, it would also be a snow artifact that could make mana for Arkham's Astrolabe.
How much filtering do you need to do in Pauper? Like, how much color changing? Is that like in Commander? I think that's important because then you go infinite and then you change the color and then you do your thing. Is that like a thing in Pauper?
So the one thing I'll say is that's one, like, going infinite or whatever, like, is one thing. Usually that's not really needed. In pretty much every single scenario, color filtering is less good than obviously like producing extra mana. So again, compare like Abundant Growth to, again, whatever the card. I always forget this card's name. Utopia Sprawl. Right? So Utopia Sprawl also color fixes, but makes extra mana. So making extra mana is better than color filtering. I'd say color filtering is on the lower end of good effects. We'll put it that way.
I don't think this is bad. Like, you get a card and you can color filter, but I don't think this is like game-breakingly banned. Like, I don't think I would play this. Like, I get it. Like, it's a land. Like, you get to make any color instead of the whatever you play.
So
and you get a card.
I will note that it is an artifact.
Oh, then you can do it and play a land at the same time. You can play both.
Yeah, it is not a land. It is a artifact that you play and draw a card, and then
realistic. Like, you have to use a land. Like, you have to tap to play this thing.
Right.
To make it do its thing.
That's what I was communicating just a moment ago of saying this doesn't make extra mana.
Yes.
This takes your already existing mana, and if it's not the color that you really, really need it to be, you can adjust it.
Yeah, I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's probably like a 6. I don't think there's no way this is banned. I would be shocked if this is banned. It's just an extra card. Does that really change the game that much? I don't know.
Final answer?
Yeah, I think this is fine, but not like game breaking.
Says banned. Yeah, this card is also crazy. This card is banned in Modern as well. So the big thing here is that any deck can play this.
So
ubiquity is a big thing, but yeah. It's funny. The note is that it seems very similar to Abundant Growth.
Yeah.
It's not. So the big thing is that non-greed decks playing it. Basically this allowed you to essentially play 5 colors for free, because it was always a good card to play. It just drew you a card.
Yeah.
And then you just got to play all 5 colors. Considering that, plus like Core Skyfisher or cards that repeat enter the battlefield effects. So you play this alongside of Core Skyfisher and it becomes really, really good. So yeah, this just was too ubiquitous to the point where
play this, tap it and make the floating mana and then bounce it and then play it again using that floating mana. No, as we play with the snow permanent. But this is a snow thing.
It is no permanent. So Arkham's Astrolabe itself can help
pay for itself.
Play in Arkham's Astrolabe. Okay. you don't really need to do that because presumably you already have a snow permanent.
Oh, but like if you use that snow permanent, like on one turn, you tap your snow permanent and play this guy.
Yeah. Then
Draw
you
a card.
can use this
Then you
this
play
mana.
the bird guy. Then you tap this guy first to make the mana. Then you play the bird guy, it bounces it.
Sure.
Can you use that one mana to replay this thing?
Yes.
Okay.
That's really not. Again, that's not as relevant. The big thing is just again that you just get the free card and you just bounce it and play it again. Again, this part of the ability was really only good because it just allowed you to basically for free have a card that converts mana. So that part was not really relevant for putting the card into play or putting more copies of this card into play. It was I played this card, it draws me a card, it was essentially free, right? You didn't lose a card, and then now it just gets to sit there and help me play my 4 or 5 colored cards. So every deck became 5 colors, which is not good. Usually, a gameplay is better if this deck plays these 2 colors, this deck plays these 2 colors, they play different cards. And so even if one card, one deck, has access to this really good card, it's like, okay, that's fine. This other deck has these cards that's really good too. Where it then became, we all have the best cards because we're all playing the same deck because we all are playing 5 colors.
Best card go.
Yeah. So that aspect of this card was really, really bad. Yeah. So that's why the difference of Abundant Growth, where the Abundant Growth is green, was an aura, was a little bit worse of a card, and then this is just I tap my land, put this card into play. All right. Yeah. So here's.
Where's my context, babe?
I should have showed. So I should look ahead and see if there's any other.
Oh, so much context.
No. We're good. We're fine. We're good. So here's another guy. You've seen this card before. You want to give it a read real quick?
Free. Tap, sacrifice, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source. What does that mean? Like you can use it for mana.
Yeah, it's so again, this is an old card. They had old wording. Now it just reads sacrifice, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
That feels very good. I don't think it's banned. I feel like it's better in Commander. But that feels very good. I don't know why anybody would not play this in their deck. Yeah.
Final answer?
Everybody should play this card.
I believe, yeah, fringe playable. So good in some cases. Usually 1 mana is not worth throwing a whole card away.
But it's already there.
What do you mean?
The card is there.
No. As in, I have 7 cards in my hand.
Yeah.
One of which is Lotus Petal.
Yeah.
If I play it and use it, that is no longer a card in my hand that I have access to. So that's what we mean by I have basically given up a card.
But you don't have to use it. You can just keep it around and sacrifice when you want.
Right. You can do that. You no longer have it. It is costing you a card in your hand to use.
Why does that matter if it's that card?
Remember, it's, we're talking about, the battle of card advantage. If I have more cards than my opponent, that's good. This is a card that all it does is make mana.
But you can play another card.
It lets me play a card ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
It lets me play a 2 mana card on turn 1, or a 3 mana card on turn 2, or something like that. Whatever I play has to be good enough such that I'm okay giving up a whole card in my hand just to play Hurley.
Yeah.
So most combo decks that are trying to do that are very fragile or inconsistent or not very good. So there's just less combo in Pauper. And so just using up a whole card just to get 1 extra mana is usually not worth it. Again, unless it's something really, really good. So yeah. Let me see if I got all the points here. Because card efficiency is so important. You have to have powerful rewards. We're throwing a cards away for 1-time mana production. Combo decks are either So it sees infrequent play. So it is a card that you can put in your deck. There are usages for it, but again, a card is a card, and that's really it sounds really stupid to say that, but that's really like a card is a card. If you're gonna put a card in your deck and just use it to throw away, it better be doing something really good, and usually that's not the case for this card in this format. In this case, it's not that good. In CEDH, right? Sometimes Lotus Petal is the difference maker. 1 mana can be the difference maker between something crazy. A turn 2 Rhystic Study versus a turn 3 Rhystic Study is very different. So that's a different situation. All right. So we have a cycle of 5. These are called the artifact lands. I wonder if you can figure out why.
Are they free?
They are lands. So these are non-basic lands. They don't have indestructible like the ones that you saw earlier. But they make the mana of the color that they are, and they're also an artifact.
I guess for a deck that cares about artifacts that you have control of.
Right. So remember that guy, that like 1 mana guy that if had haste and +1/+0 if you had an artifact. So if you go turn 1 Great Furnace.
Yeah. Then you got a big guy.
Then you have a guy.
Is that like there's cards that destroy all artifacts, right?
There are cards that can destroy artifacts that cannot destroy land, like that would destroy these if they were just lands, they would not destroy.
I mean, these. I'm assuming these will be in every deck that cares about artifacts.
Yeah. So what this is just saying is that it's just a thing that you put into play. You can't counter it, even though it's an artifact.
I'm sticking with this is great in any deck that cares about artifacts.
Any deck that cares about artifacts. How many of those do you think exist?
I don't even know how many artifact cards exist.
And how good? So you can just say, "Oh, good." Are they?
I mean, they're very good, because why would you... I mean, you're going to have some regular lands so they can't be destroyed, but if you have a card on turn 2 that cares about how many artifacts you have 2 artifact lands, and then you played 2 artifacts, and you got 4 artifacts. That's a lot of artifacts.
That's a lot of artifacts.
Maths.
Quick maths. So let me see if there is...
I don't know how many... I don't know if artifacts cards are a big thing. Like, if artifacts are a deck... that is important, but it is in Commander, so I feel like these are good. I feel like these are in every deck that cares about artifacts.
Okay. So good, not banned.
I just don't know enough about artifact mechanics to know if they should be banned or not.
Understood. Final answer?
They're good in everything that cares about artifacts.
Okay. I'll show you this page.
LOL.
So these are 6 cards that were banned because the artifact lands exist. The artifact lands are not banned, but they are constantly in discussion for bans, according to this.
Guy's so cute.
The axolotl, the companion, the salamander guy.
For artifacts?
It doesn't say. I was about to say it says. It doesn't say. It costs 1 less for each artifact you control. So if you control 7 artifacts,
that's pretty good.
It costs nothing.
Oh, I love him. He's great.
Extremely good. Not banned, but regularly discussion. These are the best cards in the format. Many decks build around them and the indestructible lands. Many cards have been banned due to them, and So like, I don't think
like these are all kind of crazy.
This one here, I forget if this one was the one. I think this one was the one that was pre-banned. This card was banned quickly. This card, I believe, was pre-banned in Pauper.
In Pauper.
In Pauper. It was made a common for limited purposes, but the Pauper committee or whatever said
absolutely not.
Nope. Atog is a very notorious creature. It basically says sacrifice an artifact, get +2/+2 until end of turn.
Just sacrifice them all.
So you get a bunch of artifacts,
Trample, go.
And boom, 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 hit you in the face.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I stand by my important to all artifact decks.
Yeah, important to all artifact decks, and if all these cards existed, there'd be quite a lot, and they'd be very, very good.
Yeah. Busted.
Yeah. That was a difficult one because there's all these guys, and It is. So the other big thing is that this is just free. With the Great Furnace, the original artifact lands, these ones came first, and then these ones came after. Mm-hmm. These ones are just free. Mm-hmm. These mana fix, but they come into play tapped. And these, there's no cost really to running them. Besides, every once in a while, an artifact destruction spell hits your land. Big whoop. The benefit that you get heavily outweighs the cost when you look at these cards and go, wow. All right, so there we go. That is all of the cards there. Now that we looked at that, what do you think of, I guess, the Pauper cards that are good, of like, or the cards that you've seen? Like what do you think of the Pauper format?
Very different.
Yeah, I mean, very, very different than normal Magic. There's like the card evaluation again, because there's more lower powered cards. You have to think about some things a little bit differently. So like this card being a pretty efficient, a pretty nice rate for Pauper. This card being one of the better white cards in the format. Yeah.
Wild.
Cool. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing more reactions to different cards. If you did, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and again, if you have more lists, I know I have one other friend of the channel making a card list like this. So again, Devin just made this and sent it over to me. So if you guys want to do the same thing, if you guys have some cool ideas, you're welcome to run them by me, and if this gets enough attention, we might do it again. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.